on immigration. But you can't, we're not going to beat Hillary Clinton with someone who's willing to say or do anything to win an election.
Go ahead, Senator Cruz.
You know, I like Marco. He's very charming. He's very smooth. But the facts are simple. When he ran for election in the state of Florida, he told the people of Florida, if you elect me, I will lead the fight against amnesty.
Some of the debate from last night on Fox, Stephen Roberts was there to watch it for us. ABC News political analyst. Good morning, Stephen Roberts.
Hey, McGraw.
Well, it looks like they all went after Ted Cruz. That was the strategy last night.
Yeah, but I think the winner was Donald Trump, frankly, for two reasons. One is that he had a whole separate stage to himself. He didn't have to share it with everybody else. He got to stand on that stage and say anything he wanted with no tough questions from Megyn Kelly or anybody else, no direct criticism from any of the other candidates. And because he was not in the room and on the stage, he got very little criticism or there's a lot to criticize about Donald Trump. His credibility, his credentials, his hardline attitudes on issues like shutting Muslims out of the country, and yet and he's leading the poll. So to emerge from the evening, dominating a separate stage and really taking very little criticism, I got to count that as a win for Trump.
But you know what? Aren't the American people smart enough to say, wait a minute, he was raising money for veterans on one hand, and yet he calls John McCain a veteran a loser, and all POWs who were captured losers?
Well, I've been waiting for the intelligence of the American people to kick in for a long time on Donald Trump, and it hasn't happened yet. I looked at the Wall Street Journal poll yesterday where Trump is ahead of Cruz by 7 points in Iowa, and people were asked, Trump supporters were asked, what do you like about him? Number one, he tells the truth. Number two, he's authentic. There's not an authentic bone in that man's body. What he's doing is playing a character who's authentic. That's not the same as being authentic. But it's an act. What he is a authentic showman. What he is an authentic carnival barker. That's not the same as being a real person. But that act has been very effective, and I don't want to demean the voters of Iowa or anywhere else. They have a right to support anybody they want. But the notion that Donald Trump is somehow authentic is lunacy to me. But the fact is that it is working, and I think his tactic last night, are there going to be some people who say, gee, he really didn't play by the rules, he's a sore loser? Yes, there will be some people like that. But in the end, the true Trump supporters are not going to be swayed by that.
The idea, though, of the Republicans last night, and it's sort of you can sort of see the strategy sort of between the lines, and that is if they can beat the rest of the field, they can beat Trump one-on-one. That's why there's such a battle royale for the rest of the field.
Well, I agree with you. For all of his abilities and for all of his success, you look at that poll in Iowa, to take that one snapshot, Trump's at 32%. That means only about a third of the Republican voters are sold on Trump. That means that there's still room for someone else to emerge as the anti-Trump. He's not at 70%, right? Mm-hmm. So, for a long time, it looked like Ted Cruz was the one, but Cruz is a very polarizing figure who appeals strongly to the most conservative voters in the party, but really doesn't have, in my view, a wider appeal. We've all been waiting for Marco Rubio to be the one to emerge, and in this latest Wall Street Journal poll, McGraw, he has risen to 18% in the Iowa poll. Last night he took a lot of fire because he has changed his position on immigration, and he has been very vacillating on the issue. But one of the things that he did try last night that was interesting, at least 3-4 times he very explicitly invoked his religious faith. And that was very calculated to try to draw some evangelical Christian voters away from Cruz. He's only a few points behind Cruz in this latest poll. If he could somehow slip into second place in Iowa or even come very close to Cruz, he would be stamped as the non-Trump, the anti-Trump going forward.
Well, of all the crazy things, you have to throw on the cherry on top is that Huckabee and Santorum show up at Donald Trump's private rally, which was bizarre.
Well, it's the only way that they can get any attention. I mean, otherwise no one would be paying them any attention. But they're going to be gone soon. One other very quick note that I thought was very interesting: everybody on that stage assumed that Hillary Clinton would be the Democratic nominee. There was no question. They were all running against Hillary, all attacking Hillary, all assuming that she was going to emerge. There's been a lot of talk about how Sanders is really making a strong challenge to Clinton, and some of the polls show that he's doing pretty well in Iowa. But I think they got it right. I think in the end, there's not much question that when it's all said and done, Hillary Clinton will be the Democratic nominee.
That's why he's the best in the business. Steve Roberts, ABC News political analyst. Have a good day. Thanks, Stephen.
Okay, pal.
625, Big 550,